After we completed all this hard work that took over a year,
And this renovation is beautiful, but we've come to a difficult decision and we're changing our plans.
we are selling the RV, and we're going to tell you why.
We have a purpose, but to take that leap, you must recognize the person that's inside. Person that's inside.
Our summer of COVID, furloughs, and RV travel was very enlightening to us. Because we'd both had COVID and we had no jobs to go back to for a while, it was the perfect opportunity to test out full time RV travel.
Yeah, so we stayed in RV parks, we dry camped and we boondocked. One thing we were envious of was people with smaller rigs who were able to get into other places where we just couldn't get into with a big 36-foot rig like we have.
I actually amazed myself with how easily I adapted to life on the road. My blood pressure went down. I really didn't worry too much about where we were going next or what the plan was. I just really went with the flow.
Right, and we love places like Buckhorn Draw and a lot of different places in Utah, but we realized that we might prefer a smaller rig because we'd be able to take that into places, again, where we couldn't get Rosie into a 36-foot rig like this. When we started thinking about making a change, it really did bring on some stress for sure.
And when we watch other YouTubers and they keep buying and selling rigs, we're always like, oh, they love that rig so much, then how come they're selling it so easily?
Right.
I mean, we never thought this would happen. We named our channel and our website after the RV. So,
Yeah, looking back in the history of Linda and I together, we've kind of always kind of done that. And who thought it would be any different with an RV? I mean,
we did. We thought it would
right,
be
we
different.
thought it would be. I mean, we've every house that we've moved into, we've not completely remodeled it, but we've made it ours. We've put what we wanted into it, not with thinking about selling it, but with this is what we want, this is what we want, how we want it to look, and all those types of things. And looking back, we should have known that going into this situation, because why would it be any different with a motorhome? So.
And our family and friends know us better than we do, maybe, because every time we talk to somebody back in California or something, they're like, are you still in the same place? Usually every year around Christmas, when they want to send a Christmas card, they're like, what's your latest address? And I'm like, what? We've been here a long time. Why
Right.
would they say
Well,
that?
most of the time we have a pretty good run of maybe like 5 to 7 years, and then we get an itch, and maybe that's called the 7 year itch. I don't know what that is.
We just change houses, not each other.
Right. It's not the relationship part. We divorce our house apparently, but
I guess we thought RV life would be different for us because maybe if we made the RV our home, but we could take our home to different places. That's kind of how we analyzed ourselves and thought that if we could keep moving to different places and really experience, living there for a few weeks to a month,
right.
then it would stop that itch.
Right. Because it's kind of weird. Whenever we go somewhere, we always look at it as like, wow, I can see myself living here. I mean, like, so we kind of looked at it as like, well, if we have the motorhome, the motorhome's not really the issue of moving. It's the being in different places. So we kind of, maybe that was the thought going into it, but apparently that wasn't it.
Nope. So we're both creative people. We create and we finish projects. We take a step back and we're satisfied with them. We have a party to show it off.
One time we actually bought a house for the sole purpose of renovating it and flipping it.
So we could get rich.
Yeah.
Guess what year that was?
That was in 2006, which is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
We lost our butt on that deal.
Yeah. So it's no surprise that after finishing this project like we have here in this motorhome, that we're kind of anxious to do something again. And I actually feel guilty, besides the fact that we named our channel and everything after the coach. I feel like this is a living, breathing thing. It's not, but it feels like it. Different even from a house, because it has a personality, and it feels weird to me to say like, well, now I hope you find a good home. But we did plan to move into it.
But it was something we planned to move on and travel the country and spend time with.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at our logo, I actually took the time to take the motorhome and kind of turn it into a cartoon. And to me, it kind of established, I don't know, some kind of relationship with the RV. I don't know, but
Breaking up is hard to do.
yeah, I mean, it's
I think we're just creative people, and that's the reason the nomadic life appeals to us so much.
yeah,
We do actually like change, and I think that's kind of where I was headed. Was like, okay, I'm gonna be like boondock lady, and I had no problem with any of the things I thought that I wouldn't like about boondocking, except for that it would sure be easier to go some of the places that we saw in a smaller rig.
yeah. And we came across this gorgeous rig.
It wasn't what we went to look at.
No, we just happened to walk into it and check it out.
You know the thing you do where you try to be stealthy on the RV dealer's lot and not be seen? We were trying to see which doors opened on which ones.
Right, we were
go look at it.
kind of testing doors and everything. It was actually a rig that before we bought Rosie was a type of a rig that I was kind of doing research on and was kind of interested in.
And the salesman came in and we were looking at it and trying to pretend like we didn't love it. We were.
Well, kind of. I mean, I was. It's kind of hard when you're looking at something that you like, not to express that you do like it.
Which is why car dealers prefer selling to men.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, we kind of looked at each other and said, "Hey, we think, without saying anything, we'd like to make an offer on this."
Right.
So he picked up his phone and called the office across the parking lot.
Right. He called into the office and said, "Hey, I have a couple here who'd like to put in an offer on this rig out here." And they informed him that too late it sold. Somebody had called in over the phone and basically purchased it over the phone.
While we were in it, looking at it.
Right.
That's the crazy environment right now.
Yeah. When we were at the RV park in Moab, there was a work camper who had one of the motorhomes that we're looking at. He actually came over and was talking to me. He was asking me how I liked the Holiday Rambler. And we were just kind of comparing notes on his rig and our rig and the pros and cons of each rig. And some of the stuff that he was telling me about his rig, even though I'd done research on him, I didn't really know or realize. So
a lot of perks to it. And remember, we're looking for something smaller.
Right. We were looking at, we got a 36-foot rig. We want to get a smaller rig so we can get into places like Buckhorn Draw and do a lot more boondocking and places where it's easier with a smaller rig.
So now we've made up our minds.
Right.
We're looking for an Alpha.
Yeah, we're looking for an Alpha Sia. Wait, what? And that's what we had walked into in Mesa and then got sold out from underneath us.
Which, of course, only drives your, oh, you can't have one? No, now you got to get one.
Right.
Not to me, though. I was not in this place. He was.
Yeah, well, the thing is I was kind of, before we purchased Rosie, I was kind of looking at Alphas just because I had seen them and they kind of looked different than most motorhomes. I didn't know a lot of the different aspects of them. And after having that conversation with the guy up in Moab, it kind of sparked my interest even more. So once that happened where the one got sold out underneath us, it became a serious quest to find one.
Let me say, though, between the moment where he gets sold on the idea while we're in Moab, we've just gotten everything done as far as maintenance and running and everything else with the rig. We just had a little bit of renovation left to do.
Right.
And he starts talking about Alphas again. And I'm like, but we didn't buy an Alpha. We bought a Holiday Rambler.
Right.
We're going to travel the country in this Holiday Rambler. We've named our channel after this Holiday Rambler. And so I was not on board.
The one thing with the Alpha C is, though, we were talking about going smaller, and the Alphas only come in 36-footers and 40-footers.
Yeah.
So, but the thing about Alphas that's kind of different than most motorhomes, there's no, hey, I want to upgrade to this or upgrade to that. They just come the way they are. They
leather seats,
leather
furniture.
seats, and all the stuff that you would normally upgrade in a motorhome is kind of already in there. The only thing people had choices on were color schemes, as far as like your
Inside.
inside.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, the
all.
outs, all the alphas are white.
Yeah.
All of them, unless they've been custom painted later. But yeah, all of them are white. Because the one that we were looking at kind of got sold out from underneath us, I had this quest that I felt I needed to try and find one.
He did.
Right, and we went to a couple of different lots, and we drove pretty far, and we'd get there, and they're like, "Hey, that's sold, and this one's sold," but what ended up happening was a 2006 40-footer just kind of fell in our lap in this offer that was just kind of unbelievable. So
Yeah, especially when we saw how fast RVs were selling everywhere. But everything was timing.
right. So without Linda knowing, I drove all the way down to Tucson to see her.
Yeah. So remember, though, I'm not fully on board with the idea at this point. I love the motorhome we remodeled. I love everything about it. I plan to live in it. So he calls me while I'm at work and he confesses. And he sent me video of it.
Yeah, I sent her a video of it and basically said how much I liked the coach, and there was not a single thing that needed to be replaced.
So, and due to the current market, we knew there was no time to hesitate.
Right.
So we just kind of decided on the phone that we would go ahead and put a deposit on it and figure out a plan after that.
Right.
So I've come around to the change a little bit. I've stopped calling the new motorhome a beluga whale.
No, she hasn't.
Well, maybe I've just decided that beluga whales are kind of charming too.
She calls it a beluga whale because it's white, and then the front of it is kind of rounded, and it's not square and flat. It's more aerodynamic. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So we've tested it out. So both our trips to Quartzsite this winter, we did not have the Holiday Rambler with us. We had the Alpha with us, and tested it out a little bit because we didn't want to do a big reveal on our channel and announce that Rosie's for sale after all this work we've done until we were really sure that that was a change that we wanted to make. In this market, we always could have resold it.
right.
So, so that's where we're at. And Rosie 1 that we're sitting in right now, the one that's so beautiful inside,
Original Rosie.
original Rosie, and the new one is Rosie 2,
Right.
TOO.
Right. Not
So-
beluga whale.
Yeah, unless you think they're cute.
Okay. So the Alpha is a new canvas, and I've already started having some ideas about bringing it up to date.
And the extra power and certainly the basement space are going to make our travel life much more comfortable.
Yeah. So who knows? We may change again in the future.
For now, we have a new project.
Right. We got another project going here with the Alpha Sia.
And we obviously have decided to acknowledge the fact that we like projects.
Right. So the original Rosie is for sale, and details will be on our Rolling with Rosie Facebook page.
And we're also going to make a video, well, we'll have a video that we can send a link to you that will tell you all the details about this 2001 Holiday Rambler diesel pusher ambassador that's been completely renovated.
Right, and it's going to be listed on RV Trader, and it's located in the Phoenix area. On next week's video, we're going to share more about Rosie 2, and you're going to want to make sure and subscribe.
And you're going to want to ring the bell, because if you want to keep up with us, our travels, our hikes, our RV renovation.
And make sure and leave a comment so you'll be part of the conversation.
Until next time, see ya.
See ya.
And somebody's looking at the RV, taking a picture of the sign.
Nice.
People are looking at Rosie while we're sitting here. It's got a for sale sign on it.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey roamers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you'll be notified each time we put out a new video.